me.
We were talking earlier about like things that bring grief back and the ebb and flow. Like also, like we don't have a lot of agency, I think, and that's a sort of maybe complex or complicated word, nuanced word in this setting, but like grief is its own, like there's so much otherworldliness to it that it's its own sort of mystery, magic, dark magic. Like there's an aspect of grief that we have so little control over in terms of like sense memory. Like I don't know, I have no control over like Joni Mitchell getting played in Nordstrom's in like, you know, or like there's so much of it that has this sort of like texture to it, that's which is what kind of makes it so like ominous, I think, at first, because it surprises us a lot. But I think the interesting thing to just like reorient or like organize our brains around is that like we might not have control over like our grief as it like lives in the world, but we do have the ability to control like that reaction and reactiveness. And I think that's like the thing that becomes, if you can tune into it, like if you can tune that dial, you go, oh, like if I can understand that, I don't have to react that way. Like that's the thing that I think it was the first step for me in understanding how powerful that was. Like I don't pretend to have any control like over my grief. I don't know that I want to, because part of it, which I think a lot of people experience, is that like it becomes, it's part of who I am. And I don't know that I want to give it up entirely, because it's my it is my mom, and that, you know, and that's like
That's where we connect
right.
with the person that we lost. It's
Yeah.
in those moments. And it becomes this really familiar place after 21 years, And so I remember we've spoken about this before where, like there's something really, it's not just cathartic, it's this like familiar, like you want to be in the crying and the dark place. You want to go there because it is a representation of connection to.
Right. And I think we all ask this question. I think about it all the time. Like, who am I without grief? Like, I don't, who am I without grief sort of begs the question, like, who am I without the death of my mom? Which is a can of worms, right? But like, grief is a part of my identity. And I don't know that I ever don't want it to be. And I can only say that because of floating. Like I can only say that because it doesn't drown me anymore. I mean, I had a day the other day where it knocked me. It like really knocked me, but it wasn't drowning. It was
Mm-hmm.
just like, oh God, okay, here, like, all right.
With practice, we know we'll get through those moments so we can allow ourselves to go there.
Yeah.
I'm going to get stuck there. It's not forever, even though the part of us that gets triggered is designed to make us believe this is forever, right? When we're in pain, it feels like forever because time is gone. That part of the brain that understands something is happening beyond this moment, it's not online anymore. So
Yeah.
we go into this panic. But if we are in the practice of going into it and coming out of it, we start to learn,
Yeah.
okay, we override that part of the brain that's tripped
Yeah.
out.